nobody's actually trying to just withdraw money. That's what Nathan Zam from Vanguard said in our latest episode, and it stopped me in my tracks. Because it's true, when you map and try to understand the journey, we often focus on tasks. But tasks are just one layer. Today, I want to unpack the 3 levels actually, of journey thinking that Vanguard uses and why most teams are missing the messy middle. Nathan leads ZX Alpha at Vanguard, a team dedicated to improving investor outcomes, and investors are basically their way of saying that that's our customers, through the customer experience. His team designs across the full spectrum of financial decisions, from saving for a first home to navigating retirement to withdrawing money. And to make sense of this complexity, they've developed a simple but powerful framework that's applied bank-wide: task journeys, moments that matter, and life journeys. This isn't theory. It's how organizing teams, personalizing experiences, and driving long-term value actually gets done.
You need to have journeys that are able to help somebody do exactly what they want to do in a given day. They need to then connect to the bigger journey of what somebody's actually trying to do.
Okay, so why does it matter? Because when you only focus on tasks, which is easy to do, like transferring funds or opening an account, you're missing out the bigger picture. What is that experience? What is that journey part of? And when you only think in life stages, like retirement, like you getting a first kid, like your kid is going to college, you risk losing people in the moments that move them. Nathan says that whole retirement experience is a journey, but it includes all the smaller tasks, all these moments along the way. And especially if you are a financial institution, if you're an insurance company, if you're a healthcare solution, then chances are journeys span lifetime. And that means that their people go in and out of moments, interactions with you over the course of their life, with you as one of the brands that they trust. So this impacts CX teams, product teams, and especially operational teams that are personalizing the experience because they care about the customer. But when context is everything and context lives in that messy middle, you can't be too abstract thinking about the life cycle or too granular just thinking about the task people are executing. So the defining thing, it's these moments: getting married, having a child, starting a new job. That's when stress is high, when emotions are high. And that is when people are looking for support, looking for brands, looking for companies, looking for products that have their backs. When you take car insurance, and another example, you are going to trust that brand, that they have your back. But when do you know? Well, if you don't make any accidents, and I really hope you don't, you will never know. But when, obviously, you hit someone hits you, or you have a moment of stupidity and you drive and hit something, well, guess what? You want to go to your insurance and see if they're having your back. That's when the moment that matters occurs. And that's when you want to show up. But in the context of the life cycle, like I am a customer, I have insurance, I'm not thinking about you as a company. I'm not thinking about you as a brand. No, it's when you show up to me when I had that accident is when you show up. Let's take another example from Vanguard, or a financial institution, opening a 529 college saving plan. It's a task journey, right? Fund the account. But it's also a life journey. Invest in your child's future. And it's a moment that matters. Maybe you just had a baby, or because your kid got at a certain age, you're thinking about it. So getting the moment right as a company for your customer, you can build trust. But if you miss it, you're irrelevant. These moments that matter, as Nathan says, are really critical to get right. It's when you can build trust or let people down. Most teams either stay stuck at the task level, optimizing for completions, for withdrawals, for spending money, or they get overwhelmed by the abstract, all-encompassing customer experience on the life journey level. And they don't know when to act, where to act, how to act. So they don't do anything and they're missing out. So what they really miss are the moments that matter, the bridge between the two. It's when you can personalize with purpose. So let's create a little bit of a take-home framework, or reframing what it means to you. So inspired by CX Alpha, I'm thinking like this: task journeys, what the customer does. Like the moment of achievement is short, it's relevant, it's very task-oriented. Withdrawing money, sending money, opening the account. It's what the customer does. So the moments that matter are what the customer feels. Of course, you could say when the withdrawal is unsuccessful, there is an emotion, but that's not what I mean. What I mean is when there is an emotion, when I'm starting to think about my pension, when I'm starting to think about my child's college. Like I have a feeling, I am emotionally loaded. That's the moment that matters. And then life journeys is ultimately what the customer wants. I want to make sure that my child has everything they need, or I want to make sure that everything I do now leads up to having a lovely pension at the end of my life, and I don't need to think about it. So task journeys, what the customer does, moments that matter, what the customer feels, and life journeys, what the customer wants. It's a simple heuristic you can apply to understanding like where are we actually impacting the lives of our customers today. So your job as an experience team isn't to choose one, but it's to connect the dots. And that's how you get relevance and results. And the last thing is critical, results. Because we can be all lofty and all customer-centric, but we have a business, because without customers, there is no business. So how do you take this 3-level model, task, moment, life, and make it actionable from a business perspective? And the key is to treat each level in terms of value, operational, emotional, and strategic. And I think that's a nice way to think about this as well, right? The operational execution of task journeys, the emotional impact we can have on the moments that matter, and the strategic impact long-term over the life of our customers, or the relationship we have with our customers. Okay, so let's break them down. Task journeys, operational value. These are your measurable short-term wins. Task completion rate, call deflection, conversion, cost to serve. Improving task journeys often means saving money, reducing friction, or increasing efficiency for the business. This is where you will find process optimization and ROI on CX investment. I mean, the easiest thing to do is go to your contact center and say, what are the low-value calls we're getting? What are people calling for that they shouldn't really, but they are still doing? And where there are thousands of calls every month, chances are chances are they are unsolvable for the contact center and the support agents because that's not their job. But when you go back to the experience and understand like in what task journey are we talking about the moment that matter, where is the friction that corresponds with those calls? Can we eliminate it? Can we improve? Can we deliver a new solution? Can we solve it by changing our policies? And if we do, lo and behold, the calls are getting reduced. So finding those frictions and improving task journeys really helps you to get business results. Now, on to the moments that matter. Emotional value, right? Where trust and loyalty is won or lost. These are the emotionally charged moments, right? Having a baby, switching jobs, planning retirement, where customers are open to help, but are also clearly disappointed when their financial outlook is different than what they have expected, okay? So metrics are like engagement rate, drop off, opt out, like kind of getting into like understanding where people are literally like engaged with you, but then dropping out, because that's typically tied to an emotional moment in their experience, especially thinking about getting a home, getting a mortgage for that home. Like at some point, people get disengaged because maybe their financial outlook on getting that home, making the down payment, and actually being able to get the mortgage was not in line with what their financial situation was. Maybe you can't do something about it, but if you're intentional about that potential drop-off is there, you can design your way around it. And even if you can't provide a mortgage to that potential customer, you can still make it a pleasant experience that when they are using your other services, they still think highly of you. So the last thing I will say about this is that sentiment from qualitative data is essential here. Not only looking back, sending surveys, but also doing primary research and literally capturing people's verbatims, quotes, and moments when they interact with you are key to bring back to your business to help others see what you see and what you have experienced. As Nathan says, these moments that matter are really critical to get it right. It's when you can build trust or let people down. Now, let's talk about the last one. Life journeys are strategic value. Basically the nooks and crannies of the entire business model. It's about the customer lifetime value. How long are customers going to be a customer of ours? Sometimes it's decades if you're in a financial institution. It's about retaining them, renewing them, but it's also increasing your share of wallet, so to say, right? To help them get different services that help them overall in achieving what they want in life. And you are the guide. You are helping them to get there. So financial goal progression is a logical one. So when we think about what those 3 levels of journeys mean to the business, you can see they all have different KPIs and different ways to measure the impact, the financial impact, the revenue impact by retaining customers, by expanding customers, or by acquiring new customers, creating word of mouth by the lovely service that you build that help you actually move the needle for your business. So you're shifting from transaction, can the customer wire money, to relationship. How do we think about that life journey? Where are the moments that matter? And how can we make every interaction meaningful? As Nathan put it, you've got to think about journeys both ways. Task-based, what someone is doing right now, and life-based, what are they trying to achieve in the long term? So what to do with this model? To connect the 3 levels of business outcomes. You need clear metrics on every level, from operational efficiency to emotional resonance, long-term value, a shared data foundation, CX and business data in one place tied to journeys, and a prioritization framework that elevates work based not just on plain volume, but also on the emotional impact and or strategic value on the long term. This shift from isolated journeys to coordinated business impact is what you want to achieve. The goal is to prove, not just to assume, that experience drives business outcomes. And this 3-level model gives you the structure to do it. The takeaway, if you're only thinking about task journeys, you're missing out on the moments and you're definitely not gonna win the life journey of your customer. And if you're only designing for those life stages, you're too far removed from the day-to-day of your customers' lives. The sweet spot is in the middle, and it's the trigger point between action and aspiration. For more, check out the full episode with Nathan Zam. It's a masterclass on how to operationalize journey management at scale. The thing I like most is how he introduces journey pods, which I left out of this one, the org structure to make this level journey thinking actually work in practice in an organization like Vanguard. So check it out, episode 31 on the Experience Edge with Nathan Zam from Vanguard.